Hello and good morning. I hope everybody is doing well today. I hope that you guys are having a good, peaceful week and that you're recharged from the weekend. My name is Evelyn Knight. For those of you who are new to me, I am the host of the Child Care Business Coach podcast, the founder and CEO of Child Care Business Professionals, which brings these seminars to you, these Mindset Mondays that I do. And in an hour, I'm going to be doing another free seminar that Childcare Business Professionals brings to you, which is going to be the Creative Recruiting Boot Camp Reach. So I hope everybody can join us for that. I'll talk a little bit about that more in a minute. But will you let me know and jump on if I have sound? I know I'm going to actually jump on my phone, but let me know if I have sound. um I don't know. I was having a hard time as I was trying to jump on here. It didn't look like I had sound coming, but if you could let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me before we get started, just in case. Let me see. I'm actually going to open it up on my phone so I can see if my sound is working. I'm not sure if it is. I hope if you guys can hear me, and nobody is commenting, so I'm wondering if you guys can hear me. Okay, let's see. Okay, it does look like it. You guys probably can. So, if my staff is there, will you guys let me know if you can hear me? Yes. Okay, perfect. For some reason, StreamYard is telling me that I have no sound. I'm getting a pop-up on my screen that says I have no sound. But okay, but if you guys can hear that is perfect. So today we're going to do this pretty quickly. I have a lot going on today. So we're going to do a very fast Mindset Monday this morning. I want to talk to you guys about COVID and what we're dealing with the virus and closing and everything that's going on today and how stressful and difficult it is. As child care providers and owners, directors, this is really stressful for us all, isn't it? It just figuring out what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with the situation? Most of us have already had to close our centers. Most of us may be facing closing our centers. Uh, let's see, video and sound not matching up. Video is slow. Okay, so that's probably what it is. I'm just having some video and sound issues. So hopefully that gets better. But worst comes to worst, you could just listen and not watch. I know when things like that happen, I just can't watch it. I just have to listen. But anyway, I want to just address the COVID issue. I know our numbers in the United States are at a it's at an all-time high. Everything, it's just really bad. And it really got me thinking last night. I live right outside Reno, Nevada, and I was in Reno yesterday and driving around running errands. And I was absolutely amazed at how many businesses are closed. Just, it was crazy. Like even other than when the pandemic had everything shut down, I haven't seen it this way since. Just driving by, there were Taco Bell's closed, El Pollo Loco's closed. My favorite Dutch Bros was closed. I went to get my Dutch Bros and it was closed. And just entire businesses that normally never close for anything. As I was driving, it's just one after another. And I think we know the writing's on the wall, right? And I've been telling my director we haven't had to close yet. And I don't know. I just keep thinking that we're blessed by that. But mentally, I've been prepared that it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable for all of us, right? But it's still incredibly stressful. It is really, really hard. And I think a lot of times our instincts are not to report, not to do this, not to do that, anything to make the public think that everything is just, status quo, everything's normal, nothing's happened. So a lot of times our instinct is to not report. Our instinct is to keep it quiet and not do what we need to do. And a lot of you that reach out to me That is what I'm hearing from you. I actually got more messages last week on this subject than I have since the virus started. And it was just like, what do we do? I have 2 teachers out, a couple more getting tested. I have a classroom that the health department is shutting down. What do I tell the parents? And I would say, for one of the things that I've learned through my career is that honesty is always, always the best policy. It really is. Good morning, Tara. I see you here. Um, so just being transparent and honest. When you are honest, you're building trust. It's funny, my team, we're about to start a book called The Speed of Trust. And I would love to do a book club with you guys. We should do a book club one day where we can let you know what we're reading as a team and just have some online discussions. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys would be interested in. But being honest and transparent, just letting people know ahead. That way there's no doubt that enters people's mind and they know that you are somebody who can always be trusted. When it comes to licensing, for example, my center is always, I'm very, very transparent. If something comes up, I call licensing and I tell them. If we've always just been very transparent, very honest. If somebody's dropped the ball on something, we let licensing know. If anything happens, right, a child gets hurt. So because of the transparency that we have always had, licensing really trusts in a way that's very, it's nice. It's nice to have that relationship, right? But our parents and our community trust us as well because we don't hide things. We don't sweep things under the carpet when it comes to our center. We are very upfront and honest. And bottom line is, I want to make sure that the children in our care are the number one priority, right? So when you think about making these decisions, are you going to close? Are you going to stay open? Are you going to report what needs to be reported? How are you going to handle this? The thing I think all of us as providers need to think about, regardless of anything else, nothing, is how does it affect the children? Because bottom line, we are here to care for these children, right? It doesn't matter what we think, how we feel personally. How is it going to affect the children first and our staff second? We have an ultimate responsibility to them. And I know that's hard. As an owner, all the things run through my head, right? And I've thought about this thoroughly. I have a written plan already on what's going to happen when we get to this level. I have all of it just mapped out. It is all just completely mapped out already, right? And that's something I can suggest to you guys is create a roadmap, because it really, really does help in knowing how you're going to do it. Even if it never is used, having that roadmap and knowing exactly the procedures you're going to take if A, B, and C happen will make you feel so much better and so much more confident, right? And for those of you who are new, my COVID-19 strategic plan is in the file section in the main Facebook group, right? The Child Care Business Professionals Facebook group. That is something I gave out to the entire public. It's our strategic plan. I will caution you, it does need to be updated. I wrote it at the beginning of COVID. I have updated our personal one several times. And I even have more now. I have one that's just for the families, one that's just for the teachers, one that's the overall. The one that I provide for you guys is the overall. And then I have one that just goes to parents, just really, and anyone can have it. If a parent asks for my strategic plan, they can have it. In fact, it's actually in my parent handbook now. I incorporated it into my parent handbook. I even have a indemnification clause now the parents have to sign when they start at Zooin that basically says we understand that we are in the middle of a pandemic. We're still enrolling our child. And it hits all the spots. We may have to close down. We may have to exclude your child. And you still have to pay tuition, right? So I have several different things that we give out, because being prepared, again, one of my life lessons that I live by at this point is being proactive instead of reactive is the key, right? It really is being proactive. Anytime you see something on the horizon, create a plan for it. get ready before it happens. That way, when it does happen, and things inevitably do, right? You're ready. You have a plan. You just take your plan and put it into place. So it just makes things a lot better. So when the parents come back and just say, "Well, I don't understand." Like for example, my policy is if we close down, parents have to pay 50% tuition, right? I'm not going to charge them 100% of the tuition, but they do have to pay 50% tuition. So in my clause that they had to sign, it says that if you are basically we do charge full tuition if the child is absent, but if we have to close, if it's our fault, we are still charging 50% tuition. And I believe I might have to look at the update. I might have actually taken that down to 50%, where if the child has to quarantine, I may have, I don't remember. Um, we haven't actually been hit very hard, but we are starting to get hit very hard right now. So we're just starting to deal with what a lot of you guys have been dealing with for months, right? So when the anxiety starts creeping up and you're starting to really get scared of the reality, right? Of the fact that, oh my gosh, we're going to have to close, or I'm going to have to shut down a classroom, or I have to adapt. I can't mix age groups. I can't do this. I can't do that. I want you to really stop and just give yourself a pep talk and remind yourself this is happening everywhere. It is happening everywhere. You're not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth center to have to go through this. In fact, if you're like me and you haven't had to shut down yet, you should count yourself blessed, because most of you guys have. Good morning, Tammy. Let me know in the comments if you have closed down. How did you deal with that emotionally? How did you? I know a lot of my staff has had to deal with it, or not my staff, my clients. A lot of you I've helped navigate, and it is emotionally draining knowing that you have to do this. So just give yourself the grace of knowing that you're not the only one. It is happening everywhere. If your cities are anything like ours, it is happening everywhere. Let's see. Tammy says, what would you say is your fault if a teacher becomes positive and you have to shut down or not having enough staff? Is your fault if you have I wouldn't, so that's something I think that we as women do a lot. I don't think it's our fault at all, right? And I think that is exactly the conclusion my brain jumps to. Okay, I want to place blame. I absolutely. And my first thought is, are you following the procedures that we created, right? As we created some very strict procedures at Zoom, which is why I think we haven't. I think that's why we haven't yet shut down, because the procedures I created are extremely strict. But so of course my brain is going to jump to, well, you're not following my procedures because this wouldn't be happening, right? And I'm going to place blame. But in reality, it really isn't anyone's fault. And I do have to go through and tell myself, like, no, stop, let it go. It is not their fault. It is not your fault. It is nobody's fault. This is just the world we live in today, right? And you have to shut down. I mean, it's going to happen. I honestly think it's going to happen to all of us. We're all going to hit that phase where we have to shut down because there's not enough staff, right? So I think that's where we just need to be honest with the parents. Type up a letter that states something like, we regret to inform you that due to the spread of the coronavirus, we are going to have a close for the week, right? And I would always put something in a letter that will say something like, and I already have one pre-constructed, Tammy. I think there's probably one in your membership group, but it's going to say something like, our number one responsibility is always the safety of the children. And because of the safety of the children, we need to put them first. So let me see. What does Julie? We ask parents to pay full price in up to 10 days. Yep. Some are mad when they send home sick kids and mad when we close for COVID. They have the most weeded themselves out. Good and removal. Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's good to remove the negativity, but sad that we lose the relationships with the child. I 100% agree with you. You have to stick to your guns, you guys. You have to. You have to be consistent from one family to another, and you have to stick to your guns, because if you don't, you will go bankrupt. I'm not going to sugarcoat that one at all. If you need to charge 100% tuition, charge 100% tuition. If a family doesn't like it, fill their spot. Okay? We cannot survive. We are small businesses. We are not big corporations like Taco Bell that have enough money to survive closing down, right? So to your guns, hold them to it. We have to. We don't have a choice. Closing 4 times during the whole Well, yeah, Julie. So Julie, you can give us advice on what to do when you close, because you have to. And think about, so 4 times, even if it's just a week each time, that's a month. Most centers cannot survive without a month of income, right? I mean, there's a lot of wonderful grants out there that really help us through, but we have businesses to run. You guys cannot survive. So do not feel guilty when you're doing what you need to do to survive. And be transparent. Tell the parents that. Tell the parents that this is a business and I'm sorry. I would love to give you free tuition. I would absolutely love to not charge you. But unfortunately, miles don't stop just because I'm closed. So if you want a childcare center to come back to when this is over, then I have to charge you, right? There's nothing wrong with saying that. Be honest and tell them. There are some who aren't going to care. They're going to be combative, but you just have to let it go in one ear and out the other. Let it go. They're stressed. They're worried. They're scared too, right? And they're taking it out on you. And some of them will leave, but that's okay. The industry standard at this point is to charge. And for those of you, if anyone doesn't, they're probably out of business at this point, right? I know some states have grants that cover it. So in that case, it's a little bit different. But for many of you out there, you don't have a grant that's going to cover this lost tuition. So you have no choice. So in this scenario, there's a lot of pep talk. You've got to give yourselves a lot of pep talks, right? We have to release blame because it's everywhere. We can't go grocery shopping without being exposed right now, right? We have to also stick to our guns, and you can't be afraid to really upset people. You can't. You won't survive if you are. Let's see. Still watching Leaders Lunch. Oh, okay. So let me see. Julie, totally the stress. Yes. They are taking it out on us. And we have to keep that in perspective, and we can empathize with them. It's okay for you to say, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I understand how stressful this is. And I really wish I could do more for you. I really do, from the bottom of my heart, right? But this is the situation. So for those of you guys who are interested, though, I do have an application for relief for certain parents, because I do understand that some parents really just can't do it. They're not paid if they're out, right? So we do have an application for financial assistance. This helps you in that you're not giving it to all parents. So your policy is one consistent thing. And the parents that you are helping have to prove that they need the help, right? So, and I believe that's in the file section of the Child Care Business Professionals Facebook group too. If it's not there, definitely available for my members. So if there is a family that you know is really going to have a hardship because you closed down, it's okay to let them apply for help. What you want to be careful for is that slippery slope of everybody's going to get the help now, right? Or, well, why did they get it and I didn't? Because you can have that parent that makes $10,000 a week and, is driving a $200,000 car who still doesn't want to pay their bill, right? They don't need the help. They just don't want to do it. So, but then you also have that parent who maybe works at Jack in the Box that seriously needs the help. So it's okay to have that application process and give some and not others. Just make sure you have an official process in place so that it doesn't become some type of a discrimination issue, right? There's just so many variables that can happen there. But that is what I have for you guys today. Just to know that we're all in the same boat. It is stressful right now. Give yourself that grace to take care of yourself. Do not place blame on your staff. It's really nobody's fault, and it's all inevitable at this point. and just give your parents grace. Try to show them empathy. I mean, all around, it's kind of funny as owners, we need to show a lot of empathy, but we need the empathy too, right? Because it's so stressful for us. And as directors too, it's so stressful for us. So I don't know, maybe we'll start a string in this Facebook group or in our main Facebook group where we can just tell each other like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me, and we can support each other. We can come alongside each other and just support and let you know it's okay. We've been there, done that. You'll get through. So I hope everybody has a great week. And as we're navigating these tough times with all of the positive cases that are out there, that you can keep your chin up and know this too shall pass. Right? Have a wonderful week, everybody.